transition from crib to bed can be a little challenging. So here with his solutions, designer, contractor Brian McCourt joins me. Welcome back. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah,
well, you've been busy having babies.
Having babies, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we have pictures of the latest little Brian, miniature Brian, and it's Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, how old is Ben?
So Ben is 2 weeks old.
Oh my goodness.
And the thing with having any babies, you need a crib. And so we had Calvin in a crib, and we had to transition him.
Yes.
Because normally the crib will like transition into a bed and then big boy bed. But that only really works until you stop having babies, right?
That's right.
Because it only really works for the last one.
That's right. And there we have Calvin, who's 2.5. So we had to show them both because when they watch this episode, if Calvin is not on it, it's a problem.
Did you show them for the exact same amount of time?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good.
We timed it. So let's talk a little bit more about this transition. We've got a picture of the room before. And so this is Calvin's room before. He's a baby. He just needs sort of like nursery things. Before you bought the house. Then we have the picture of it after, and you did an amazing transformation.
Thank you.
Using all of the skills that you have as a contractor / designer. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so we've replicated some of that here
some
in
of the
studio.
items. And a lot of them are from the Home Depot.
Good.
So this bed is from there. It's about $300.
So cool.
Cool, right?
Yes.
And that's the thing. We wanted to make sure he was excited about the transition instead of him feeling like he's been evicted from his crib.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then resenting his little brother. But we made it exciting by giving him this really special bed.
Yeah.
And then I wanted something really low to the ground so that if he fell out, he didn't hurt himself and he possibly just stayed asleep.
Yes. Yes. So we had the same concerns.
Okay.
And for Sydney, when we did that transition into the big boy room, got a super low bed from IKEA.
Yes.
So low that, you know, none of the parents, we don't want to sleep with them. Like, how do we get out of this bed? It's so low. But that was part of it. Part of it also was making the space his.
Yes.
And it's really nice that you've got all the throw cushions and the fun design that's actually going to grow with him because it's not too cartoony.
Exactly. And you know what? These are great because you just kind of throw them along the side. So if he rolls out, like I said, he doesn't wake up.
Yes. And that happens a lot. My kids fall out of bed all the time and they stay sleeping.
Yeah, you got to wake them up and they're just like sprawled out in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's great.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. A couple other things I wanted to consider was a non-breakable light. So we did this cage light, which was really nice. In his actual room, we did a paper light, which was really nice and kind of whimsical.
So nice.
And then we did some, do you know what this is?
So those are curtains.
They are curtains.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
But they're actually made from drop sheets for painting. You know, you put them over your couch so that you don't get paint on your floors and your furniture.
Yes.
What's great about these is that you have so much fabric for $40.
Yes.
So all I did was cut it up the center, and then I clipped it onto this rod.
Okay, that is so smart. So what's nice about them is that you've got a lot of length, and we often talk about how people are doing the curtains too short.
Yes.
You want a lot of length, so that's perfect for that and super economical.
I think they look good when they just touch. Just a little touch.
Just a little touch, right?
But I mean, these are so rough. I just threw them up and clipped them up, and if they're touching in some areas and not in others, that's okay.
It's fine.
Right?
It's fine. You don't have to be fussy about it.
Yeah.
This to me is the most genius thing because number one, it is low. You've got a low shelf here.
So they can pick their own books.
They can pick their own books. They can put them back. Most importantly,
there's the secret right there.
Put them back. And you say that part of the motivation is just the books they're big and they're different odd shapes.
Well, these are rain gutters, the same you would put on the exterior of your house. So they're really inexpensive. They're about $1 a linear foot.
Yep.
And then you just put end caps on and screw them in.
Yes.
You know what I love about being here, by the way?
What?
Anytime you want to clap, your whole audience will clap for you. Yeah.
It's literally why I show up for work every day. It's them.
Just follow me around. Like, it's not fair that you get this every day.
No, you're going to wake up on a Saturday and be like, where are the applause? I'm on.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
They're not there.
Where's my coffee?
Okay, let's show some of these DIYs. This one as well, a beautiful way to display the art. The art keeps changing, and let me tell you, it is endless.
It usually goes on the fridge, right?
Yes.
And so your fridge is just a hot mess of stuff.
Mess.
But you kind of love it.
This is great.
But just to reduce some of that, you can take the clipboards, spray paint them, put them on the wall, and then that reduces some of that. And it also gives the kids their own display area.
That's right. I think it's great. So let's show how some of this. Let's make some stuff.
Make some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing it again.
Yes.
You're getting spoiled today, my friend.
I know. I'm always spoiled when I come here.
What do you want to start with? Why don't we start with the gutters?
Yeah.
This is a very smart idea.
And this could be a vertical garden, could be for toy storage.
That's true.
But it's great for books.
Okay.
So you want to decide how long you want to make it.
Okay.
And I've pre-marked here about 24 inches because that seems about right to me.
Yep.
And you
Why
take
not?
your snips. And
Those are some impressive scissors.
I know. They're for hard things.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a, you got to use some force. You cut
The
right down.
material is tough material. This is a gutter. It's a gutter.
Yeah.
Very smart.
At it, and then you can kind of bend it like that.
Yep.
And that gives you enough room that you can cut it across.
Now,
Boom.
the thing that's most magical about this is these, because I haven't seen any gutters done so beautifully like this on anyone's home. So this is nice that you can have this when they're your shelves.
Exactly.
Right?
And what's great about these is that they're no screw, no glue. They just compress on because they've got this little piece around the edge.
just shove them
Little
in.
piece of foam, yeah. So it's sometimes a little bit of a fight to get it in, but
Okay.
see, it's under pressure.
Well,
if I
that's
get
not
this
bad.
in, I'm gonna need a round of applause.
Of course you are.
There we go.
Close enough! Let's
There we go.
applaud!
It's in. It's in.
Very good.
All right, and then
Very
you're just
good.
gonna
There we go.
screw through, drill your holes, and then I like to use a washer.
Yes.
So it just makes it a little bit more secure.
Oh,
and you
I
want to
see.
put them probably about every foot or every 16 inches.
Good. Very
Right?
good. And you can put as many of those up as you want. You can put them as low as you want.
Exactly, totally customizable and right to the
Yes.
inch.
Right.
To the
Because as you
centimeter.
say, some of their books are like bunnies or shaped like rainbows.
And then when
They
you
don't
put-
fit into a bookshelf.
Exactly, they just
Yeah.
look weird. They always look like a mess, but on there,
Totally.
they're displayed properly.
They're perfect. So these are just the prettiest things and so easy. Where'd you get the clipboards?
Dollar store.
Love it.
$1, make you hotter.
Love it. And how did you do the ombre spray
So
paint
the
design?
first thing is it's made of MDF, which is medium density fiberboard,
Yeah.
which means it's a bunch of wood particles with resin, and it's just like a sponge. It just soaks everything up.
Beautiful.
So you want to use a really good heavy duty primer, and this is Universal by Rust-Oleum that I like
Okay.
using.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of sprayed and had some fun with it with a couple of colors.
Oh, so you weren't even intentional about this.
No,
Like,
I
it's
just kind of sprayed, and as I
beautiful.
sprayed, it kind of mixed, and
Yes.
and it kind of looks really good.
It looks really good. It totally does. And then
Right?
you can clip on what you
so
need to
birthday
clip on.
cards, or
Nice.
pictures of grandpa and
Oh,
dad.
that's sweet.
you know? Yeah.
Beautiful. So that's done. This idea, I think people can actually do this for their shower curtains if you want.
Ooh, that'd be smart.
Right?
Just
Just
do
put a
line it.
liner in.
Absolutely.
It's a great idea just because of the length.
Yeah, so these are instant curtains, these clips. They're just basically, you clip in some
Okay.
fabric, and then
Good.
you've got some curtains. So
Nice.
this fabric is so cheap because it's meant to get paint on it.
That's right.
And instead of sewing it, I don't sew, so I literally just cut it to whatever size you need.
Yep.
And then I fray it a little bit, and it stops
looks
fraying after a
cool.
while.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and that's it, super simple.
So you're putting up this rod and connecting it to it, whatever
Put these on.
height you need it to be, which is great.
Great,
Last
right?
but not least, these amazing decals.
So
Where do you order
wallpaper
these?
is a pain in the butt to install. Everyone
Yeah.
loves wallpaper, but it's such a pain in the butt.
It can be.
So what's great about these is that you just cut them out like this. They're literally stickers that go on the wall,
And they come off, don't they?
and they come off. But
Yeah.
what it does is it instantly gives you that wallpaper look without the wallpaper price,
Yeah.
and it's not as committal.
Yeah.
That-
So I can do that. And then it looks like I have fresh
They're always
ink,
too far.
but I can take it off.
Yeah, you look.
I think I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, I think
That's really good.
Looks really nice on you.
Nice work, my
Cool.
friend.